Welcome to my channel. Please enjoy the video. What is going on, my tea sippers? Get in here and get this tea. I hope it's not too hot for you. Now guys, I wanted to backtrack and discuss some things because it seems that those two young men who came in and testified against R.Kelly, we never heard of them. They were not included in the docuseries, and there was no public allegations made about those two young men in the beginning of having any sexual encounters with R.Kelly. However, I wanted to point this out because I've made several videos about young men in Hollywood and young men, period, who are being abused or was abused or taken advantage of by an adult in a sexual manner. They have no voice. So it seems to me that these two young men were never interviewed by Gayle King. They were never in, like I said, in the docuseries. No one has ever spoken about these two young men. It seems that Jocelyn Savage, R.Kelly, and the rest of these young ladies who testified on the stand against R.Kelly had their voice. They had sit-downs and interviews with different outlets. But what about these two young men? Like I said, guys, I highly doubt that any young man would want to get up on a stand and testify to the awful things that R.Kelly done to them. Why would they want to get on the stand and make something up like that? These young men had contact with Robert Sylvester Kelly. One young man in question, which they're saying that his name was Lewis, and he said he was only 17 years old when he met R.Kelly. And I recall that the other one said he was 16. Like I said, guys, it's not an even scale when it comes to males being abused or sexually abused when they're underage by an adult, whether a woman or a male. That man got up on the stand and he used a fictitious name, and he said that his name was Lewis. He told that jury that he was only 17 and he was an aspiring artist when he met R.Kelly. He said that R.Kelly began making sexual advances towards him and promised advancement in his career and engaging in those sexual acts with him. So you guys would think that bloggers, they're going so hard on R.Kelly and all the other women and saying that they're liars and they were not victims. But I ain't yet to see any video on YouTube addressing these two young men, saying how much they are terrible liars. I have yet to see a video. Everybody's going after the females and saying that they were lying, they were not victims, they could easily leave, they were there for money, but nobody is calling these two young gentlemen out as liars as well. Now let's get back to Lewis. See, Lewis said something that stuck out to me, guys. Lewis said that R.Kelly told him to keep what was happening between the both of them. He told him, we're family. We are brothers. Do you guys remember somebody else saying that R.Kelly was his brother? Will Edie express that R.Kelly is his brother? Does this ring a bell, guys? Anyway. And let's not forget the gut-wrenching testimony coming from this young man about him coming into R.Kelly's garage, and I don't know who the young lady was, but they're alleging that it was Lisa Van Allen crawled from underneath a boxing ring and began to perform oral sex on this young man. This young man even said that R.Kelly went down on him and started performing oral sex. But people want to sit in my comment section and say that the media is spinning everything and R.Kelly never was involved with any young men or boys. So as they continued to meet, Lewis said that Kelly told him to refer to him as daddy as well. And he would also record their sexual encounters. So the hip hop artist that was aspiring to get his career started, he said he kept seeing the singer because he really wanted to make it. You guys have no idea, allegedly, what these rappers and these celebrities that are already in Hollywood had to sacrifice on the casting couch. And so R.Kelly told him to bring some friends of his to the parties that he was having. So he did that. And after he brought his friend with him, it was one of his closest friends, this young man stated. And that young man was only 16 years old. And R.Kelly seemingly liked him and said, bring him back again. Okay? The friend later received Kelly's phone number and allegedly began having sex with the singer too. During one occasion, Kelly ordered the two friends to touch each other sexually, but Lewis said that they refused to do that. This is too detailed. Bloggers, where's the outrage calling these two young men liars? Why is it just the females? See, you guys, Lewis's testimony stuck out for me, and it was just too detailed to be a lie, in my opinion. Because he said where he met him, he described the garage, he said it was a workout area inside of the garage, and he snapped his fingers, and that's when that naked young lady crept out from underneath that boxing ring in the garage. Guys, this is too detailed. This young man is telling his story. And he said that R.Kelly, that he ordered that woman or whoever that was to perform that act on him. He said it was a weird situation. And in fact, him explaining what happened sounds very weird to me. Because who has a goddamn boxing ring in their garage? So allegedly, that woman who performed that sex on him and crawled from underneath that boxing ring was allegedly Lisa Van Allen. Lisa Van Allen never came out and disputed this young man's testimony or anything he said. She didn't come out and say that it was her either. But I'm going to assume that it was Lisa Van Allen because this is what I was told, and due to my digging, this is what I unearthed, that it was in fact Lisa Van Allen who crawled from underneath that boxing ring and performed this sexual act on this young man. Now, why is R.Kelly having her to do that if he was pursuing and helping this young man with his career? Shouldn't they be in the studio making music if this is what he was really trying to do with this young man? Instead, sex became involved? Not right. And the young man even stated that R.Kelly was performing these acts and recording them as well. Okay. But I have noticed that no one is trying to talk to these young men. And guess what, guys? These men probably don't want to even come out and have interviews and sit downs like R.Kelly and amongst these other victims in this case. Because it's very hard for young men to come out when no one is really supporting what they're saying and they have no voice. They're embarrassed. So I highly doubt that these young men were lying. But you don't see anybody on YouTube making videos saying that these young men were lying as well and they were groupies and they were using them for money. Why isn't any blogger speaking on these young men lying in this R.Kelly situation? These young men's stories are very similar to the young ladies who came on the stand and gave their testimony as well. So in my opinion, guys, this proves that when young males get molested, they are treated differently than young women. So let's get back to this young man named Lewis. So he said that he met R.Kelly at a McDonald's, and everybody knows that that was R.Kelly's favorite spot, which was McDonald's. Okay, this is how he met the children that were coming in trying to get a Happy Meal with their parents. However, Lewis was not escorted with his mother or father at the time of this meeting R.Kelly at this McDonald's. Okay, he was probably just going to get him a double cheeseburger and said, whoa, there is Robert Sylvester Kelly. He wants to be a rapper. He wants to get into the Hollywood system, and he started to speak with Robert Sylvester Kelly. So they met at McDonald's, and the team somehow got his phone number, and then they made a meeting, and he came to R.Kelly's mansion. He told the singer he would carry his bags and anything that he would need him to do, he would do. But R.Kelly seemingly had other plans. Okay, this man said that R.Kelly crawled down on his knees and proceeded to give him oral sex. Why would this young man come out and say this, guys? Okay, and the man said when R.Kelly began to do that, he was not into it at the time and he was not comfortable. It was a shock to him. It made him very uncomfortable. And you guys hear these other celebrities who come out and say that when these things happen to them, they were uncomfortable. They felt weird. And in my opinion, guys, I believe this young man 1000%. And he said after that first encounter, he ended up having a full-time sexual relationship with R.Kelly for over more than 10 years. And he kept it a secret because he really wanted to make it into the music industry. So my question is, bloggers, why is these two young men so different from all of these girls and women that got on the stand and testified against R.Kelly saying the same exact things? About them wanting to make it into the music industry and him holding that over their head and saying that he would help them, but instead use them as sexual instruments. Now, guys, I have more information to attach to this commentary because it seems that R.Kelly allegedly was caught sending nude photos to a 17-year-old boy on Instagram. and this was way before the trial. So we can connect the dots because once again, this young man was 17 years old. According to Twitter, R.Kelly, the singer, asked that 17-year-old boy to come and visit him, and he even offered to fly him out. And he also sent those nude photos to this young man. Okay, so those allegations came out just months after that woman alleged that she had a sexual relationship with R.Kelly when she was underage, and she added the list of women who's accused the singer as of such. Okay, so this young man came out on Instagram, and there are some receipts attached to this commentary that you guys can look over and read. I will keep it up on the screen long enough for you guys to see that. Now, as you guys know, celebrities have a blue check mark next to their name on their Instagram accounts, verifying that they are indeed that person or a celebrity of someone of importance. So this young man received an inbox from Robert Sylvester Kelly, and I'm tired of people saying Robert can't read or write, so how is he texting these things? There is a such thing as text to talk on your device that you can talk into it, and it'll put the words up as a text for you in that format. And as you can see here, this is in fact R.Kelly's Instagram account. I did go back over there and check and see and verify this is his account, and he does have a blue check mark. Now he's talking to this young 17-year-old boy, and he's telling him, and this was in 2018, guys, on January the 1st. The date is also attached to this text. This was way before this trial came out and he was ever even indicted, okay? R.Kelly told him, "You trying to come to my concert August the 17th in St. Charles, Missouri? I got a spot over there. We can hang out. I can fly you out." Okay? This young man responds back, "Are you dead ass? I'm not sure. I'll have to see. That seems kind of far away." Robert, you a fine looking boy, but if so, it will be fun. My team will make sure you get here and back home safe. Here, take my number. But the number is not, it's scratched out, okay? And then he says, "Thanks, enjoy." Now, guys, this young man was in fact speaking with Robert Sylvester Kelly. As you can see, that Instagram account, which is Robert Sylvester Kelly's Instagram account next to that blue check mark. And guys, R.Kelly indeedly had a concert on August the 17th in St. Charles, Missouri. I got a receipt. And in my opinion, as clear as the sun comes out to shine every day, this was R.Kelly. Because August 17th of 2018, he had a venue in St. Charles Family Arena in St. Charles, Missouri in the United States. So check that receipt out, guys. So for all you viewers in my comment section saying that R.Kelly didn't sleep with any young men, R.Kelly didn't do nothing to no young men, y'all know that's a goddamn lie. Y'all know that's a goddamn lie. Because sometimes what we say may not hold weight, but it's what we can see that holds the weight even stronger. You guys see, that's Robert Sylvester Kelly's Instagram with the blue check mark. And once again, this lines up August 17th of 2018. This was before this racketeering trial ever began. So R.Kelly was being inappropriate with young men, and I believe those two young men on the stand. And guys, this should sum up if those two young men were lying or not. So the real question is, guys, why is everybody calling all of these females out? But they're not calling these young men out. They're not saying that the young men are lying about R.Kelly abusing them and having sex with them and oral sex and all those things he was doing, telling them to call him daddy and saying that we're brothers. Will Edie also expressed that him and R.Kelly are brothers. Guys, I'd like to thank you for watching.